Whoops. I accidentally muted everybody, myself included. Okay, so still lying down on your backs. You're going to lift your hips back up towards the ceiling with the ring in between. Lift the hips up and hold. Now, bring the arms towards the ceiling and bring your hands to hold the ring side by side. Your hands are directly side by side. And so when you open the arms, you will not go very far. Your hands should be in line with your shoulders. Now just bend the elbows down, straighten the arms up. Bend the elbows down to your side, and you're pressing out. Good. Now, as you continue to press down and up, really try to get your glutes engaged to keep the hips lifted. Last two. This is 1 and 2. Keep the arms straight up. Squeeze that ring. Straighten the right leg straight out in front of you and hold. That right leg is reaching out in front of you. You press down into the left hip. Press out of the right hip for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend that knee. Place that foot down. Now bend the elbows down. Still keep the separation of the hands. Squeeze that ring. Straighten the left leg. You now have the elbows to support you so you can straighten that left leg for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knee. Place the hips back down. You're just going to let go of the ring. Place it on the side. Place your right foot in the strap. Right foot is in the strap. You're going to pull the strap down towards you, giving you some tension in that strap. And let's just lower and lift the leg. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Lower, lift. Lower and lift. 5 more. Lowering and lifting that leg for 4, for 3, for 2. Pause with that leg lower down. It's hovering just off the mat. Curl your head and shoulders off the mat. Elbows are still bent. The leg is floating. We're just going to straighten the arms, bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. Straighten and bend. 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And straighten the arms straight up in front of you. Lower the head and shoulders, reach the leg back up towards the ceiling, and you bend your elbows into your side. Bring your left leg up, place the right foot down. Elbows are going to be bent. Now turn the palms to face you, and you're going to lower and lift the leg. Lower down, lift up, lower down, lift up, lower down, lift up. 3 more. 3, 2. Lower the leg and hold. Curl the head and shoulders up. Now you're going to straighten the arms, bend. Your palms are facing you when you bend. Your knuckles are going to be going towards the ceiling. Your thumb is going out to the side. You bend, you straighten. You bend, you straighten. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Pause with the elbows bent. Reach that leg straight up towards the ceiling. Head and shoulders are lifted. Bring the right leg to tabletop. Place that foot in the strap as well. Elbows are going to bend down to your side. And now you just lower the legs down only as low as feels comfortable for your low back. Lift up. Lower down. Lift up. Lower down. Lift up. For 5, 4, 3. Good, everybody. 2. Final 1. Lower the legs down. Turn the feet to parallel. Bend the legs into tabletop. Lower the head and shoulders. Straighten the legs out. Bend them in. Straighten out. Bend them in. Now flatten out the low back. And if you feel their hip popping, try to press into that side of the pelvis. Press that side down. For 3, 2, 1. Lift the legs straight up towards the ceiling. Lift the arms up towards the ceiling as well. Lower the legs down. And now you're resisting with your arms. Lift the legs back up. You challenge the strength of the arms to stabilize in the shoulders. Lower down. Lift up. Lower down. Lift up. 2 more. This is 1. Now on this one, you're going to lower your legs down to about a 45-degree angle. Now, if this gets into the low back, you just always bend the knees into tabletop, but keep the legs still. curl up, and lower back down. You can always bend those legs in to curl up and lower down. We're gonna just curl up, good, 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 as high as feels comfortable for you. If you can come up into that full teaser, great. Curl up, great, you all are doing awesome. Lower back down. 3 more. 3. Back down. 2. Back down. Nice, last one. And when you come up on this one, you're gonna hold for a second and then let the legs lower down and hinge forward. Good, so you've hinged forward, now you're getting a stretch for those hamstrings. Awesome job, everybody. Okay, you're sitting up tall, your arms are gonna go straight out in front of you, and let's just turn the palms to face the ground, and then pull back. Pull back. Pull back. For 5, 4, 3, 2, pull back and hold. Let's paint 5 circles. 5, 4, Susan, chin up. 3, 2, very nice. 1, 5 the other direction. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the arms straight in front of you. Roll back into that C curve and hold. Hold. Palms are going to be facing one another. And from here, you bend your right arm in and rotate to the right. We're going to do just the right side. Rotate, and then you straighten back out. Now, it's like you're holding 2 glasses of water that you do not let them tip. As you bend in and pull, you don't side bend. You bend the shoulder and you rotate the torso. We're working on rotation, not lateral flexion for 3. For 2. Last 1. Rotate back to center. Roll all the way down. Roll down, roll down, roll down. The strap is wrapped around the feet still. You're going to just bend the knees and keep the strap underneath the feet as you place your feet flat on the ground. The feet are flat on the ground. Now we're going to lift the hips up into a bridge. Hips are lifted into a bridge. You bend the elbows. Knuckles are going towards the ceiling. Punch up, lower down. Punch up, lower down. Punch up, lower down. Punch up, lower down. If the strap is behind the legs, that's fine. You can just adjust it if you'd like, or you can keep it there. You punch up, you lower down. Now you're going to punch up and hold. Now open the arms out to the side. Bring the arms back towards the ceiling. Open the arms out to the side. Bring them back towards the ceiling for 5, 4, 3, 2, and we're going to work the triceps a little bit here. You're going to punch towards the ceiling and hold. Now bend just the elbows and straighten them. You bend and you straighten. If you need to open the arms out to the side slightly so that you can get the strap off the hips, that's fine for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips all the way down. Lower the arms down to the side. Straighten the legs out. The strap should still be underneath the feet. We're going to inhale here. Exhale, look down the nose. Roll the spine all the way up. So you're sitting up tall again. Inhale here. It's going to go into a bit of a flow. You roll back into your C curve. Check to make sure your shoulders are in line with your ears are in line with your shoulders, if not slightly behind. Bend the left arm in and rotate. Left arm in and rotate. Good. Good. Rotate. And this is more about the rotation and less about the arm. You rotate. You rotate. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach the arms forward. Dive forward. Grab more of the strap. Stack up tall. Inhale here. Pull the arms behind you. Hinge forward. You can bend your knees slightly if you have tight hamstrings. The arms are behind you. We're just going to bend the elbows, straighten the elbows. Bend and straighten. Now, once you have the exercise, you have the move, look forward so you don't end up hurting your neck by continuing to look at the screen. Susan, bring your chin down just a little bit. Look down at your toes, everybody, so your neck can relax and be in a neutral position for 5, 4, 3, 2. Now you're going to pause with your arms behind you. If you need to glance at the screen, you can glance at the screen to open the arms up and down. Once you see what the exercise is, go back to your neutral spine with your neck. Good. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Last one, bring the arms in. Stack up tall, bring the arms forward, bend the elbows. You're up in the elbows, making a 90-degree angle. Roll back into your C curve, hold. Now, you keep your wrists over your elbows, making this 90-degree. You punch up and back, punch up and back. Good, punch up and back. So this is shoulder flexion. Kathy, come up higher. Don't be lying down, you wanna just be on your sacrum. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, last one, and straighten the arms out, lower all the way down. Bend your elbows, placing them on the ground, bring your legs to tabletop. And straighten both legs out, bend them back in. Straighten both legs out, bend them back in. Straighten and bend, straighten and bend. For 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to keep your legs straight on this one. You're going to take your right leg. You're just going to lower it down, and it's going to hover just off the mat. Right leg. Left leg's going to reach straight up towards the ceiling. Now you're going to curl up, using that strap to curl up if you need to pull yourself up. If you can come up onto the sit bones, great. Keeping that split. And then we're going to lower back down. Keep that right leg as still as you can. Keep the left leg as still as you can. Try to be in this scissor split. We're going to do that one more time. Crawl up. You get a bit of a hamstring stretch. And then we're going to lower back down. You should be using those abs. Bring that left leg straight up towards the ceiling. Now, we're not curling all the way up. You just curl up and hold. You use this strap. You're just head and shoulders are up. Holding here. Now let's open and close the right leg, the leg that's on the bottom. Kathy, if you can lower down a little bit lower, you want just your head and shoulders off. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, you let the left leg lower down, right leg lifts up. See if you can curl up a little bit higher. You're holding that strap either with one or both hands, and you're holding here. Now you're just going to lift and lower the right leg. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift that free leg. Good. For 5, feel that core. For 4, you still get the support of the strap. For 3, for 2, bring both legs straight up towards the ceiling. Lower head and shoulders. We're going to now place the right foot in the strap. Pull into that strap. Lower the left leg down. Try to keep the legs still as you crawl up, climbing up, getting that hamstring stretch, and then lower back down. Good. You climb up. Good. Lower back down. Now, if this ever gets into the back, you just climb up to where it feels comfortable, and then lower back down. Now on this one, what you're just doing is curling just your head and shoulders off the mat. Just the head and shoulders are curled up. You can pull to give yourself more support or keep the arms straight. Let's open and close that lower leg, that left leg that's down on the ground. Open and close. Open and close. For 5, 4, 3, 2. It's just bringing that idea that we can move one side of the pelvis while the other side stays stable. Now, switch the leg position. Hold here. Now let's lower and lift the left leg. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring both legs up towards the ceiling. Bend the left leg down. Bring the right foot out of the strap. And let's just turn and lay on our sides. The strap is just going to be put away for a second. And you're going to grab your ring. You're going to grab the ring and you're going to bring your legs to tabletop in front of you. So you should be making about a 90-degree angle, or I take that back. Your hips, your knees are going to come down slightly. you're going to want your heels in line with your sit bones. Then you're going to place the ring in between the knees, and then your heels are squeezing together. And you're going to create a little pillow for yourself, either with a ball or with your arm. And then from here, you're just going to squeeze that ring 10 times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, squeeze and hold. So now you're squeezing those inner thighs, holding here. Now just lift the heel off, then lower the heel back down. You're just lifting that top heel off, lowering it down. You keep the ring still. You keep the pressure of squeezing the ring together as you just lift and lower the heel. This is doing internal rotation of the hip for 5, 4, while doing the adduction of the leg. 2, lift the leg and hold. Now we're gonna, that heel is lifted, it's in line with the knee. Now straight adduction, squeeze for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, squeeze and hold. You're using this whole top leg. Keep that inner thigh. You feel that squeeze. All that you're going to do is lift the top leg up just so you can grab the ring, then lower the leg back down to parallel. Now, you want to have that idea of pulling that top leg towards the bottom leg, but you use your abductors, the outside of your glute, to keep it still. So you're in this counter force. The leg's trying to pull down as you're trying to pull it back up. Working both sides of the muscles, you're going to straighten the leg straight out in front of you and kick it forward and back. Now bring your bottom leg to tabletop in front of you as you just kick forward and back. Kick forward and back. Kick forward and back. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, kick the leg slightly behind you. So if you were to look down, your heel is slightly behind your hip. Take your bottom leg. You're going to straighten it out in front of you. So you're making this 90-degree angle with your legs now. That top leg is floating. Let's lift the bottom leg. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Try to keep that top leg as still as possible. Lift and lower. Good. And lower. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's lift both legs and hold scissor kicks. Kick, switch, one leg forward, one leg back. Now you want to try to keep your pelvis and your torso as still as possible. If you can do this with your hand at your hip, great. Feel free to always place your top hand in front of you for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to bring both legs together in line with your body. Lower both legs down. Readjust if you need to. Try to keep this out of the top shoulder and lift both legs up. Lower them back down. As you lift both legs up, you should be pushing out of the feet so the ankles stay on top of each other. You don't lift hiking the hip up. The ankles should stay on top of each other for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift and hold. Take your hand, grab your ring. We're going to be using it for this next part. As you keep your legs lifted, you're going to roll onto your stomach. And you're going to bring the ring in front of you and lower your legs down. The ring's in front of you, and you're going to place your hands on the ring, on top of the ring. You feel how that lifts you up into extension slightly. And now from here, you press down into the ring to lift your head and shoulders up. Now keep the pressure down into that ring as you lower the head and shoulders down. You don't bring the head past the arms. You lift up. So you're always in a slight extension as you lower back down. Lift up. Lower down. So you want to feel that pressing down of going into shoulder extension to lift the head and chest up. Good. And then lower back down, push the pubic bone into the mat. Lift the head, lift the chest. Hold here. Draw your belly button off the mat. Now, try to release the ring. Keep your head and shoulders lifted. And then place the ring down and keep the arms up. Hold, push out of the feet and float the legs up. You're in full extension here for 5, 4, 3. Place the hands down on the mat. Lower the legs down. Now only come up higher if it feels comfortable in your body, but just gently press into the mat to lift the head and chest up. Good, and then you're gonna drop down. Belly button touches first, then bottom of the ribs, then your sternum. You tuck your toes. Your toes are tucked so that when you lift your head and chest, you can slide your elbows underneath your shoulder. Your toes are still tucked. And then from here, engage the core, draw the belly button up. And that drawing of the belly button and engagement of the core lifts you up into a plank. You're on a forearm plank, holding here. Now, you want to actively push out of those heels. And now try to draw your elbows down towards your toes. And feel how that gets your shoulders a part of this. You're holding for 5, 4, 3, 2. Come up onto your hands. You're now in a hand plank. Now, if this is too much, you do not have to be on your hands. You can stay on your forearms or just drop to your knees and press your hips forward. Do whatever feels comfortable for your body. Listen to the modifications. Now, we're going to just take that right leg. You're going to float it up. You're going to bend it in towards the right elbow 5 times. 5, 4, 3, 2. Pause. Place that foot down. Lift the left leg up. Bring it in towards the left elbow for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower down to your knees. You're in an all fours position. Press back into a child's pose. Take a big inhale here. Exhale. Let's go ahead and we're going to lie on our other side. Other side, it's going to be towards the ceiling. Grab the ring again. And you're going to bring your heels in line with your sit bones. Your knees are going to be slightly bent at a 45. And bring your heels to touch. Heels are squeezing together. Now, dependent upon what your legs, the musculature of your inner thighs, it might be more comfortable to be up closer to your pelvis. So find where you can maintain this pressure. Heels squeezing together, squeeze the ring. And you can always pause and move the ring at any point. So just don't feel like you have to just suffer through this if there's pressure, because there are plenty of attachment sites, specifically one on those inner thighs, that does not feel good to get a ton of pressure on it. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, pause, squeezing that ring together. Now you're just going to lift the heel and then lower the heel back down. Lift the heel up, lower the heel back down. Lift the heel while keeping that ring squeezed. In fact, one of those attachment sites, about 3 muscles, I think, attach at a common site, and it's called your pes and cernus. It's called your goose foot because it looks like a goose foot on your inner thigh. Little fun trivia for y'all. You can use that some point in your life, hopefully. 3 more. 3, 2, and then pause. That leg's going to be parallel. Now let's squeeze 10 times. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Who said you can't learn something while you move? For 3, 2, and now squeeze and hold. You want to keep that adduction of the legs. Holding here. We're going to do something a little different on this side. Straighten the leg out. Bend it back in. Straighten the leg out. Bend it back in. So that top leg is going into extension, knee flexion, knee extension, knee flexion. Last 2. This is 1. And you're just going to relieve the pressure of the ring just enough to bring the ring out and then lower that leg back down to parallel. And you should feel those inner thighs engaged. And your hips should feel pretty engaged and strong here. So you can just kick forward and back. Kick forward and back. I always find once I have my adductors, my inner thigh muscles engaged, this leg sideline work is definitely not as challenging. Your abductors have the engagement of the inner thighs to give you more support. For 3, for 2, Now you're going to kick that leg back in line with your body and then kick slightly back. Straighten your bottom leg. Let's lift and lower the bottom leg. That top leg is slightly behind the body. We're lifting and lowering. Lift and lower. Try to keep that top leg as still as you can for 5, for 4, for 3. Lift the leg up and hold. Now scissor kicks, forward and back. Kick forward, kick back. Kick forward and back. Good. Kick and kick. Kick. Now, if this is hurting your hip on your bottom hip, you can roll back slightly onto your glutes. For 5. 4, there's another attachment site on the outside. It's called your greater trochanter. It does not feel good to put a lot of pressure on it. 2. And 1, bring both legs together and you're going to lower and lift both legs. Lift and lower. Lift in line with the body. Lift, the legs lift only as high as they can lift together. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and now you're going to lift both legs and hold. As you roll onto the back, you're going to tuck the legs in towards your chest so it flattens out the low back and your legs are in tabletop. And grab the ring. You're going to bring your head to rest on the ring. So your head's resting in the ring, your legs are in tabletop. Just having the legs in tabletop gets your core engaged. You're going to bring your hands to the inside pad of the ring, or they can hold the outside as you flexion to crunch up. Crunch up. Now the important thing in here is that you look at your knees. Don't look at the screen. You want to be looking forward. All we're doing is a crunch. I will tell you if we change, but you're just crunching up. Good. Crunch. Now keep your knees still in space. This is just about getting the sternum to drop down towards the pelvis. And then you want to engage the entire core. So even draw your pelvis by your pubic bone down. Get the lower abdominals to fire. For 3, for 2, and on this one, you hold up. Now you're holding your head. You press your head into the ring. And now straighten your right leg out. Hold here. Engage the entire right side of your core. So think hip draws down, belly button draws down, ribs draws inward, holding here. Now keep that right leg straight. You're going to lift and lower it towards the ceiling for 5. Just the right leg for 4. That left leg's in tabletop at any point. You can place it on the ground if it's too much. Last 1. Now bend that right leg into tabletop. That whole right side is already drawing down from the hip to the ribs. Now straighten the left leg out and just bring an awareness to the whole left side of the core, knowing that it starts at the pubic bone. Draw the pelvis down on the left side. Then draw the belly button down on the left side. Then the ribs draw down and in, and lift and lower the left leg for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, 1. Bend both legs into tabletop. Lower your head and shoulders. Place the feet down. Bring the ring into the inner thighs. Out of the head and into the inner thighs. Now, you're going to activate those inner thighs. There's a fascial connection from your inner thighs to their opposite obliques. So left inner thigh to right oblique, right inner thigh to left oblique. So to work the obliques even more, you're going to squeeze that ring. Bring the hands behind the head to support the neck. Left armpit towards right hip. Left armpit towards right hip. So right now the focus is just getting the left shoulder blade, left ribs off. Once you feel good with that rotation, then you can add in the deeper flexion of trying to draw the right shoulder blade off, going up. So it's left shoulder blade to the side, right shoulder blade forward. Good. So you get the rotation and the flexion, but the rotation is the more important part of this. For 5, for 4. Now don't think that the core stops at the belly button. It is more than the belly button. It is down to the pubic bone, out to the hip, and up through the ribs, even around the back. And on this one, let's hold. That was way more than 5. And now let's crunch that left armpit towards the right hip
End range of flexion for 10, 9. We're just doing mini pulses. 6, 5, 4, 3. Don't forget to squeeze the ring. 2, 1. Lower head and shoulders. Place the hands down at the side, and you're unsqueezing the ring and just send the knees side to side. You can hold the ring, just giving the back and the core a little bit of a break. Let the neck relax. Send your head to the opposite side that you send your knees. And then bring that ring back in between the knees. We got to do that right shoulder to left hip. You're going to inhale here. Let's go ahead, squeeze that ring 10 times. 10, 9. Just get the engagement of the inner thighs so we don't forget about them when we do the flexion. For 4, 3, 2, squeeze and hold. Legs are going to stay down on the ground. If you want to challenge yourself at any point, bring the legs to tabletop. But let's go ahead, right armpit towards left hip as you just rotate. The legs coming to tabletop is more challenging. So only do that if this feels, like you want to work it a little bit harder. But get the foundation correct first before you go to the extra challenge. Right armpit, left hip. Now, focus on the pubic bone right above that. The whole side from those hips drawing down. Then the belly button, everything is drawing in towards the belly button, and that pulls to the spine. And then the ribs draw down towards the pelvis. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2. Now, pulses. You're going to pulse up. Now see if you can get that left shoulder blade to pulse up as that right shoulder blade's already rotated for 10, 9. Squeeze the inner thighs. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower everything down. Grab that ring. Send the knees side to side, everybody. Good job. Now, just to let the hips get a little bit of a stretch, you turn the palms to face the ceiling. Lift the hips up. Good. You're just squeezing those glutes. Coming up into this bridge lets the hips open up. Your hands are just resting down on the ground. Holding here. Now just open the arms out to the side and then let them come back in. Just getting the pecs to open and close. Let the neck relax. So it's like you're making a snow angel, but just the wings. 3 more. 3, 2, 1. Now lower the hips all the way down. Now you're going to straighten the legs straight out in front of you. You're going to grab that ring. You're going to place it in between the heels of your hands, and your arms are going to go straight up towards the ceiling. Let's squeeze that ring 10 times. 10. Just getting the adductors of the shoulders firing. Well, it's your horizontal adductor, so your pecs and your deltoids for 5, 4, 3, 2. You're going to squeeze and hold. You're going to draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Now let the scapula depress. Get the shoulders to draw the elbows towards one another. Feel how that engages the whole shoulder girdle, both front and back. Look down the nose. Roll the spine all the way up. And when the shoulders are just carrying the head and shoulders up. Good. You're stacked up tall. You can bend the knees slightly. Now from here, you're going to roll back just to the tips, to the top of your sacrum. Just to the top of your sacrum. If this gets into your low back at any point, you're going to bend the knees closer in towards the chest and go back lower. Don't go back as low. Holding here. Now, your heart is in the center of the ring. Just rotate the center of the ring. And that makes your heart also rotate. Back to center. Rotate to the left. And center. Right. Center. Left. Center. Good. Right. Center. Left. Center. Last 2. 1. 1. Now on this side, rotate to the right and hold. Squeeze and engage the ring. Now lift the arms above the head, lower the arms back down. Lift the arms above the head, lower the arms back down. You're in this rotation, you're lifting and lowering the arms for 3, for 2. Last one, rotate back to center. Rotate the torso to the left. Lift and lower. Lift and lower for 5, 4, feel those obliques. 3, 2, last one, lower the arms down, rotate to center, stack up tall, place the ring down, round the shoulders forward and back, and just roll those shoulders. Good job. Now, let's go ahead and come to an all fours position. You can get rid of that ring. All fours position. And you're just gonna round your spine up, extend your spine back. Round your spine up, extend your spine back. Now tuck your toes, and you're just going to lift your knees off, and then straighten your legs up and push back into a downward dog. Make sure that you don't hyperextend the shoulders. Don't drop the chest back behind the shoulders. And then you're going to either walk your hands towards your feet or your feet towards your hands, whichever feels more comfortable, so that you can slowly build the spine up one vertebra at a time. Round the shoulders forward and back. Okay, now we're going to work the hips in a standing position. You'll see only my waist. And now you're going to open the legs out to the side. It's more important to see the feet on this one. And you're going to turn out. So your feet, your knees are going to be going over your second toe. And you're wide, and it's like you're doing a plie. You're going to squat down, stand up, squat down, stand up. I place my hands on the front of my pelvis at my hips so I can feel if I tilt forward or back. It's just a straight down and up, straight down and up. Last one, you're going to squat down and you're going to hold. We're just holding here. Now, see if you can press the pelvis down a little bit lower, and that gets you deeper into that squat. Feel those inner thighs that we've worked plenty of. Now let's lift and lower the right heel. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. For 5, 4, keep the ribs up. Make sure you don't tuck that tailbone. You want to be in a neutral spine. You're sticking that tailbone back behind you. 1, let's lift and lower the left heel. Good. You're lifting and lowering. Now try not to shift all the weight into that right knee. See how that brought my pelvis over to the right? You want to keep the pelvis in the center. You're lifting and lowering. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to lift both heels up and hold. Both heels are lifted. We're going to pulse up and down. Pulse. Pulse. Good. Going lower. 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 For 3. For 2. For 1. Lower the heels down. Stand up tall. Woo. Feel the lateral rotators. Feel the quads. Shake the legs out. Bring the feet in. Good. Now from here, you're going to inhale. Float the arms up. Exhale. You're hinging from your hips. So it's a hinge forward as you bring your arms down, and then you bend them to be on top of your pelvis. Bend your knees ever so slightly. Knees stay above the ankles. Let's shift all the way into the left heel. Send the right foot back. Right foot is back. Now you're going to lift and lower the right leg. This is all glute. You should not feel anything in your low back. If you are, engage the core from the hips to the ribs. Everything in the between there is drawn inward. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2. Lift and hold. Now stack your spine up tall and bring that right leg to tabletop. Holding here. For 5, find your balance. 4, 3, 2. Place the right foot down. Hinge forward, squat back down. Right knee is over right ankle. Shift all the weight into the right ankle. Send the left foot back and forward. Send it back and forward. Back and forward. For 5. For 4.
For 3, good. 2, pause with that left leg back behind you. Now you're just going to lift and lower. You're lifting from the left foot. The back doesn't change shape. That right knee should still be over the right ankle. For 3. For 2, now lift and hold. Straighten that right leg and you're in your arabesque. You can hinge forward just a little bit further. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Bring the left leg to tabletop in front of you and stabilize and hold. Drop the pelvis down. Check to make sure your hips are even and square. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower that foot down. And you can just shake the hips out. Nicely done, everybody.